As promised, I'm here to bring you another anime review on Code Geass, Episode 4. Now, expect another episode review sometime today. Just gonna let you all know there will be another episode review sometime today, but just letting you know. So anyways, this episode of Code Geass, it raises a couple of questions I actually want to cover before I really start talking about this episode. For one thing, I'm wondering about the limitations of Lelouch's actual power. For instance, his eye power. I know he can manipulate people and he can only do it once per person, and he has to technically see their face. I'm curious though, can his power work through a television? That is the big mystery. I mean, technically, the only reason why it could not work on the person in the mech or the nightmare was because he couldn't see their face and couldn't make eye contact. So the question is, could his power actually affect people through a television screen? Because if it does, holy shit, imagine what he could do, like the damage Lelouch could cause if he could actually broadcast on a live audience in front of everybody in the world. He could control everybody. But like I said, most likely it might not work, but if that can happen, like, damn. So anyways, besides my overall questions with that, this episode is pretty simple. It sets up a lot of things. One of the main things it sets up is the actual differences between Lelouch and his friend Suzaku. For instance, Suzaku in this episode, he denies joining Lelouch's, rebellion, pretty much. And the thing was, at the end of this episode, Suzaku did not even realize that his best friend Lelouch was actually Zero. He did not realize that at all. But still, the point of the matter is that his viewpoints on how to change Britannia and, go about the rebellion or changing the world is completely different from Lelouch. Lelouch actually wants to, change everything from the outside. He wants to cause a rebellion, he wants to change things quickly, fast, and stuff like that. He wants it done now. He wants results. That's pretty much what Lelouch is kind of like at the moment. While you have it on the other side of the spectrum with his best friend Suzaku, Suzaku actually just wants to change things inside, which is a longer process, and it would take many years, a long time, for something like that to become accomplished, but that is the different viewpoints with these different characters, and as I said in my last review, this is probably going to lead up to some form of conflict in the future, because, I mean, most likely, the way it's going to go down is that Suzaku is not going to approve of whatever Lelouch does in the future, because you can clearly see in this episode, he does not approve of what Lelouch did. For instance, Lelouch was only cared about the results. He only cared about the results of what was going down in the episode. No one died, and he had the plan all laid out and all that, and he's like, oh, no one died and all that, it was fine. It was all a farce and all that with the poison. It wasn't real poison, stuff like that. And he have it to where Suzaku's like, well, it seems like you only care about results. So he doesn't really agree with the methods of how Lelouch got to that point. So he's one of those type of people. He doesn't really necessarily care about the results. He's one of those type of characters that care about how you got to that outcome. So, besides that, the episode mainly focuses on a lot of different inner conflicts going on. For one thing, Suzaku is in a hard spot in this episode. I understand his viewpoint of why he did not choose to join Lelouch's rebellion, or Zero's rebellion, supposedly. The reason why he didn't want to join it is because if he would have ran off and not went back to actually Britannia and took his judgment for court-martial and stuff, all the 11s would probably get mistreated and probably executed, stuff like that, and any people that already are noble status and 11s actually turn into Britannians, most likely their overall social status and all that would come into question, and it would probably kick them out to where they fall off as 11s. So there was a lot of issues with Suzaku and what he had to face. If he would have ran away, it would have fucked up a lot of shit. And if, random people came in to save him, it also would fuck up a lot of shit. So the overall aspect with Lelouch coming in with this episode and actually saying, oh, I'm the killer, I killed Clovis, I'm the one that killed him and all that, I'm the real killer, and when he saves, Suzaku in this episode, the thing with that is, the way the ending is, it makes me believe that it's building up to actually make it to where Suzaku can get away, he's fine, because all the entire public eye realized wasn't the one that killed him, so pretty much it's now all pointing towards Zero. And I wonder exactly how long Lelouch can actually hide in his school without being discovered. I mean, it's only going to take so long until people start pinning the dots of Zero, Lelouch, and the Rebellion and stuff like that. It'll only be so long, and I'm curious to exactly when that finally will happen, when Lelouch will have to run away from his daily life and just escape. And so, we'll have to see exactly where that goes. Now, besides that, overall, the episode, it was really, really enjoyable. It had a lot of setup, and it got a lot of a characterization for, Lelouch's best friend. We also found out, Lelouch is starting to start this rebellion, pretty much. He's starting to start it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, oh yes, actually, I do want to mention one thing, and I almost did a backflip when I saw, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe it. Did I really see a Pizza Hut product placement? Like, a Pizza Hut product placement. Like, I know I did not just see things. Like, I looked at the screen, I looked at it, and I saw Pizza Hut. And it wasn't, like, Pizza House or Pizza Shack. It wasn't, a random name to make it not copyright infringement. I literally saw Pizza Hut. It's like Dr. Pepper or whatever. I've seen those type of references, or MC, like, for McDonald's and stuff like that. But seeing Pizza Hut as a product placement, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I have never seen a product placement like that. I mean, I've seen product placements, so I haven't seen actual real name product placement. So, very weird. Very, 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 very weird. So, oh yeah, actually, but one more thing before I end this review. I actually watched the dub this episode. I actually watched the dub instead of the sub this episode. I usually watch sub, I usually do, but I watched the dub just to see exactly how the dub really is. I've seen a lot of YouTubers asking each episode review, am I watching it subbed, am I watching it dubbed? And usually I watch sub, but I wanted to check out the dub to see exactly how it was done. For the most part, the dub isn't that bad. Like, it's not that bad. But there is some scenes specifically in episode 4 I saw that could have a lot more emotions when it came to the dub's, voice actors. But that's just me. Anyways, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Did you enjoy this episode of Code Geass? Did you hate this episode? And get ready for my next review of Code Geass sometime later today. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.